You know, every single time you type a website address, you're kicking off this hidden, lightning-fast translation. It's kind of the secret language of the internet, and today, we're going to meet the invisible translator that makes it all possible.
It's an action we do dozens, maybe even hundreds of times a day without a second thought. You type in youtube.com, you hit enter, and bam, like magic, the site is just there. It feels totally seamless, instantaneous. But there's this really fascinating process happening just under the hood.
And here's the fundamental disconnect, right? We think in names, like youtube.com. It's easy for us to remember. But the internet, the actual network of computers, it thinks in numbers, specifically these long strings of numbers called IP addresses. That is the only language it truly understands.
So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? How does your request, written in plain English, find its way to the right computer, which is identified by some complex number out of the billions of devices connected to the internet? How do we bridge that gap? Well, the answer is this absolutely brilliant system that works just like the internet's own personal phone book. It's called the Domain Name System, or DNS for short, and it is the absolute key to making our daily browsing experience even possible. At its core, DNS is really just a translator. That's it. It takes the human-friendly name that you can remember and converts it into the computer-friendly number that the network needs. This is the critical link, the handshake between your command and the internet's response.
Honestly, this phone book analogy is the absolute perfect way to get it. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's essential for finding anyone or, anything on the network.
And the parallel is almost perfect, isn't it? You don't memorize hundreds of phone numbers, you just tap a name in your contacts list. It's the exact same idea here. You don't need to memorize a bunch of IP addresses, you just type a familiar website name, and DNS automatically looks up the correct number for you.
I mean, can you even imagine that? Seriously, trying to remember a different string of numbers for every single website you visit? The internet would be almost impossible to use. DNS is what saves all of us from that chaos, and it's what makes the web accessible and, user-friendly.
Okay, so we know what it is, but how does it work so ridiculously fast? Let's actually trace the incredible journey your request takes, a journey that's over in, well, the blink of an eye. Just think about that for a moment. That tiny little gap between you hitting the Enter key and the page starting to load, there's a whole conversation happening at basically the speed of light. So what does that conversation look like? All right, here's the play-by-play, and it is fast. You make the request. Your computer immediately asks a special computer called the DNS server, hey, where can I find this place? That server quickly skims through its massive directory, finds the matching IP address, and sends it right back. With that number in hand, your browser now knows exactly where to go to load the website. Simple as that.
And the most amazing part of all this whole 5-step process happens so fast you don't even notice it. I mean, we're talking about milliseconds. It's an absolute marvel of speed and efficiency, and it's repeated billions of times a day all across the globe.
Now, for a system this important, you might be wondering where it is. Like, is it in one giant building somewhere? Not even close. The reality is actually much more robust and way more fascinating. This is so crucial to understand. DNS isn't one giant, vulnerable phone book sitting on a single server. No way. It's a decentralized global network. Copies of this directory are spread across thousands of servers all over the world, which creates this incredibly resilient system that's always on and always fast, no matter where you are. So this network has levels, a hierarchy. Your first stop is usually a local DNS server, probably run by your internet provider. It keeps a cache of recent requests to be extra speedy. If it doesn't know the answer, it asks higher-level servers. And at the very top, you've got the root servers. These are the ultimate authorities that know where to find the main phone book for every domain like .com or .org.
So let's bring this all home. After seeing how all this works, it becomes just incredibly clear how fundamental this system is to our entire online world. It really is the unsung hero of the internet.
Just try to imagine the alternative for a minute. Without DNS, the internet as we know it would just collapse into a chaotic mess of numbers. It would be completely frustrating and totally inaccessible to the average person. So, the next time you're just effortlessly browsing the web, take a second to remember the invisible translator working behind the scenes. DNS is that silent, efficient system that takes the vast technical world of the internet and makes it feel simple, intuitive, and, well, human. DNS is such a powerful reminder of the incredible, invisible infrastructure that supports our modern lives. Which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other silent, essential systems are working all around us, just waiting for us to discover them?